A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerdist and New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka The Unforgiven, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka Paulie 2 times.
Yep. And we're back with another episode. And yeah, if you notice something on this particular episode, that you notice that there is no Facebook page this time. And that is because somebody on this page did some dumb shit and got themselves kicked off of Facebook for a week. So
Wasn't me this time. Wasn't me.
It happens. So, like I said, we wouldn't be the bullies if we didn't do some fucked up shit every now and then anyway. So, so let's move on to the next part of the podcast. Eli, before we get to the nerd shit, can we talk about this shit that everybody else was talking about?
Sure.
Okay. So, I figure what we'll talk about is that we'll talk about the Tyson whatever fight that happened this weekend, Tyson Roy Jones fight, or I'll even show you a clip of it this week. It was this is what it looked like. So yeah. So yeah, basically a bunch of old fuckers fighting. They hugged all day, ended in draw, nobody got hurt, the end, and that was it. Anything else you had to talk about that? Or
Well, I read the rules for the fight. Basically it said they weren't allowed to fight.
even though like Tyson seemed like he wanted to just kill somebody, but like he wasn't able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the rules of the fight. But here's the thing: nobody's talking about that. What they're talking about is Nate Robinson and the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say this because Nate Robinson is, I have to talk about him. He is a famous person. He's a basketball player, retired basketball player now. He is the only person in NBA history to win a slam dunk competition 3 times. Only person to do that. But guess what? Because of this weekend, he won't be known for that anymore. Even though he's the only person to do that, he won't be known for that. He'll be known for this dumb shit. Getting knocked the fuck out by a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Paul George. You know who is, not Paul George, Paul Logan. Jake Logan. Any Logan,
Paul.
fucking Logan. All of them.
Something
I hate them dudes.
Paul,
They
yeah.
get on my nerves. They're the bane of my existence. And because now he's a laughing stock of everybody now. Twitter is just going in on him. Memes are coming in left and right. Look at this. You know, Lion King and shit just popping up left and right. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, that's something else. Everybody thought it was gonna be like Apollo Creed. You know, that was exhibition match also, and it pretty much ended up like that. Now I know that Rocky IV had his 35th anniversary. You know, shout out to Comic Cast. But he didn't have to reenact it. Hell, he looked just like Apollo Creed did at the end of it. So I'm like, what the fuck, Nate Robinson? Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it was so bad, man. The black community having a conversation, man. We need to excommunicate him. We need to do a racial draft. You know, trade him for Prince Harry. I don't know. You know, because we can't be seen with you. You got knocked out by a YouTuber. So,
Well,
yeah.
To watch fun video, yeah.
Yeah. My thing is this. I understand that people want to, you know, give him credit for living your dream and going out and doing what you want to do, regardless of what everybody do it. Sometimes you don't need to do that. Sometimes you just need to sit your ass down somewhere.
Hey, you know, that we see that all the time. Other athletes will try out another sport, you know. I mean, hell, if Mayweather tried to play football, I'd love to see him get tackled and like fucking cremated. It would be funny as hell. I wouldn't pay for it though. You know, it would be funny.
But is that what we want to see? We want to see athletes just, you know, completely ruin their legacy? Is that what we want?
Not really. No. You see, that's my thing. I didn't watch this fight. I didn't give a shit about this fight. We talked about this when they first announced it. I'm a fight fan.
And I saw your enthusiasm then.
Yeah, I'm a fight fan. I did watch fights last night. It was the UFC, and it was for free, and they were awesome.
Instead of 2 washed up guys over the hill, just hugging each other out.
These big, huge like circus events. It's basically all they are, and they just charge the shit out of them. just like Conor McGregor and the Floyd Mayweather fight. Didn't watch that, didn't give a shit. But because of that fight, they jacked up the prices of pay-per-views because of that. Because of those two assholes and that shit that they put on a few years back. Now we all got to pay more for we got to pay for that shit now. You know, so yeah, I'm not into these like freak shows and shit because, you know, yeah, it taints the legacy of the sport, you know.
And so it's the number one thing that people have been talking about as far as boxing wise. I mean, what's the last thing that got attention boxing wise?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Mayweather fight and shit.
So yeah, you got to have a circus sideshow like this sometimes, but it's just weird. My thing is, like I said, Nate Robinson has no friends. They should have told them ahead of time that you were probably gonna get your ass knocked out by a YouTuber, and he didn't listen to anything he did in. Because look, this makes it even worse. Jake Paul is wearing his jersey after he knocked his ass out.
Well, now you got all these assholes, all these other fighters that want to, like, you know, come out of the woodwork wanting to fight him now.
Please,
like,
somebody knock his ass out. Anybody.
Because they want to get paid. You know, that's what they want to get paid. They want this freak show money. So yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork for more, so we can see more bullshit fights. So look, yeah, we're gonna see this.
I'll pay good money for somebody to knock his ass out. I mean, just saying. Let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast. Okay.
Yeah,
this is the
fill it in for. Let me share out these links real quick.
Okay, you got it. You got the. Okay,
I'm doing some technical stuff. So, but you know, kick a rhyme or do some stand up real quick.
Cool. Okay. There was a Jew, and no, I'm not going to. I don't want to get banned on YouTube also.
No, I actually want to hear that one now.
I actually could finish that, but I'm not going to finish it. I might finish it offline. All right. So let's go to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, this is the part where we actually usually start off where there was a death this weekend, and we do want to pay condolences to David Prowse. David Prowse is actually a big feature in the science fiction fantasy community, whatever you want to call it. For those that don't know who he was basically the body or the acting portrayal of Darth Vader. And yes, the greatest movie villain of all time. I don't care who you are, you disagree with me, fight me. I don't care. Because
fight us both, yeah. Because
fight us both. Like the only thing about Star Wars we agree on, Darth Vader is the greatest movie villain of all time. Because just look at his movement. You could just tell by his movement that he had physical presence. So before, you know, James Earl Jones' booming voice came in, he just walked in the room. You're like, oh, that's a bad motherfucker. You know, and that's just all you need to know about him.
I mean, he just had this "don't fuck with me" aura. Like the moment you saw him on screen, you're like, holy shit, this guy, don't fuck with this guy. You know,
right? Because it took a while before he even just stayed on screen. But that's the thing. That's what we know him from. Apparently, David Prowse was a big deal over, you know, his own country as I'm trying to think something crossman. Basically, he taught how to cross the street, you know, without getting, you know, hit by a car and shit like that. You know, so
he's like on some children's show or some shit.
Children's shows like that. Matter of fact, even between shooting of Star Wars, he was still shooting those commercials in between then, where George Lucas would be like, you know, he gave him time to shoot the commercials also because it meant so much to the kids. You know.
Well, he was also a Clockwork Orange, and that's where George Lucas saw him from. He's like, oh, this is a big guy. You know,
like so he was like, a bodybuilder, shredded, ripped, all that stuff.
6'7", he was like 6'7", and George Lucas, hey man, I'm making this movie, the space movie. I got two parts. I got this Wookiee, who's like this big fuzzy teddy bear, or I got this big ass badass villain character. And he's like, I want to be the villain.
I want to be the villain, right? Like that. You should have led with that. You know?
Yeah,
but it doesn't stop there. David Prowse actually had an even more significant like impact on Hollywood. For one thing, Superman. He wasn't Superman, anything like that. But when Christopher Reeves got cast for the role, he was like this scrawny dude, you know, 6 foot tall, you know, 90 pounds soaking wet. So like, okay, we need to get some muscle on you. Get Darth Vader. You know, so David Prowse was his trainer for the Superman role. So he went from some scrawny kid to this.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know
so
that.
That's returning. Look, no muscle padding. This ain't no MCU. This ain't CGI.
This ain't Michael Keaton in Batman.
This ain't Michael Keaton. This is all Christopher Reeves right here, baby. Take it in. Soak it in, baby. So yeah. So rest in peace, David Prowse. Like I said, your contribution, just everything. He played a badass. He was actually a pretty nice guy that everybody pretty love.
Hi.
Snack.
Snabel Train. Thanks for
Never
listening.
train. Yeah, shout out to Mario. Yeah, let's move on past that. So since before we get in knee deep into the Star Wars shit, technically this is like some Star Wars shit also. The monolith.
Oh yeah.
You heard about? I know you heard about the monolith.
The monolith, yes.
Yeah, so we all heard about it. Apparently, aliens are real. Like I said, because 2020 is going to 2020 harder than everybody has before. So apparently, there's these monoliths that are out there right now that just popped out of Utah for no reason whatsoever, and nobody knows where they came from. It's just there. Some I don't know how tall, 3 meters or whatever meters long is. They found some scientists found it. They were joking around. Well, some aliens left it, But here's the weird thing, Eli. Upon recording this podcast right now, when they went back to it, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The government of Utah made an official statement saying that BLM had nothing to do with the disappearance of the monolith. Now, BLM, of course, means the Bureau of Land Management.
Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah. That's not funny.
Right. But Twitter didn't read that statement and just ran with it.
Of course not.
Fucking black people always stealing shit. I'm like, come on, man. There's no black people in Utah unless they play for the Jazz, man. That's it.
But I heard that they found a note that said "bye, bitch" or something.
Right. Blacks rule. Like, come on, that wasn't us. Oh man, but who knows? But there probably some movie shit or something like that. But let's just move on past that. Oh, can we go back? No, we can go back. Okay, now we're gonna. Oh, shit, I didn't do it. Anyway, we're gonna stick on this. We're gonna go to the Mandalorian.
Okay.
Because I know you got a chance to see it, so we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian. I know you got a whole bunch of shit you can talk about this with Mandalorian. So I'll let you go first and break down what all you had.
Yeah, this season they're killing it. This new episode directed by Dave the motherfucking man Filoni.
There's all kind of pictures of like him in faith in Jesus imagery.
Yeah. We knew Ahsoka was coming, and this episode did not waste any time. Just got right. Here she is, motherfucker. Here's Ahsoka, and here she is doing what she does best. Whooping ass.
Right. And some people they wanted more of a build up. They wanted more nah, they just straight to it.
We had 2 fucking years build up. But yeah, I mean, it was just a sweet episode. She's for spoilers, recap real quick.
Hold up, before we get there. Now look at Ahsoka in it's in the cartoon and look at Rosario Dawson. Mm-hmm. Like they nailed that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. They, like I said, I'm not attached to Ahsoka like you are, everybody else to watch the show, but just looking at you like, whoa, they nailed that. Like you put them side by side, your brain will fool you into thinking, okay, which one's the cartoon?
Yeah, well, even when they announced it, this was like fan casting. When she first expressed interest, this was just like, hey, I would love to play Ahsoka in a movie. This is when they first got Star Wars back together and Disney bought, the series and all that shit. And she just mentioned, hey, I'd like to play Ahsoka. And we were all like, yeah, that would be so cool. So when it finally happened, yeah, it's awesome. But finally seeing her in action, yeah, we're finally seeing, like Bo-Katan, we're finally seeing a character that we always only seen animated, but now in in real life, live action. So yeah, it was kind of cool. And I got to admit, because I'm such a fan of the Clone Wars and Rebels, seeing Ahsoka move like an actual human was a little. I was like, hey,
okay, that uncanny valley, if you want to say.
She's kind of slow. Then, oh yeah, this isn't CGI. Like in the cartoons, they're all moving on because it's animated.
Well, you know what, Eli? If I can make one criticism, I will make that. I feel like Rosario Dawson's fight training wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to nitpick,
yeah,
that's all.
But it was still cool. Like
it was still cool. It was still cool. I'm just saying, but I'm seeing how other Jedis move in these show in the movies. Like even Anakin and Obi-Wan, they were fucking going at it.
Oh yeah, they
know.
trained for months. Yeah, she's no Ray Park, the guy who played Darth Vader.
Right. Even like Ewan McGregor was on like the Tonight Show one time, and they gave him a lightsaber, and it was like 5 years like after Revenge of the Sith. He just pulled out and just went, and everybody like, whoa, the fuck, like he knows that stuff. Like his training's still there. So Rosario Dawson's training was there because it felt like her movements were slower than everybody else.
Yeah,
but when she was standing still, like the screen presence was there.
Yeah.
Just a fight choreography, like, and that'll come. Like, if she gets more time to play the role and preparation for it, that'll be there.
Yeah. I've watched it like 3 times now. This episode.
2,000 man, what to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, I've watched it multiple times now. And yeah, I really dug this episode. It had basically everything that Star Wars embodies. The cool, the samurai swords and the kung fu fight, the Kill Bill fight at the end, and the cool shootout scenes, and just expanding the lore. We all, we got to find out Baby Yoda's backstory. So, anyways, quick recap, spoilers for those who haven't seen it. I mean, why the fuck are you here? But yeah, so the episode opens. Ahsoka is murking a bunch of soldiers on some planet. It's dark. There's fog. She's using cover. The visuals were dope. You know what I mean? Right out of a samurai, right out of a Kurosawa movie. Very cool visuals. She basically goes to the gate of the town. She's like, hey, you got to tell me what I want to know, or I'm going to come and kill your whole village, basically. And then here comes Mando. He shows up to the town. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a Jedi. And they go to the magistrate, the boss lady or whatever. She's an ex-Imperial, whatever. And she's like, yeah, there's a Jedi out there. You go kill her. We'll give you a Beskar spear. So he goes and finds Ahsoka, shows her Baby Yoda. We find out that Baby Yoda has a name, which is Grogu.
Which nobody's going to call him that.
Yeah. It's
His
still
mama
Baby
named
Yoda.
Baby Yoda. I'm going to call him Baby
But
Yoda.
we get a sense of Baby Yoda's backstory, that he was actually in the Jedi Temple when it fell, and he was actually being trained on Coruscant, before Order 66, and then went into hiding, and then all that. And hasn't used his training in decades. By now, it's been decades, because this is Order 66, which happened during the prequels, which would be decades earlier. So he hasn't really used any of his Force abilities that much. But basically, Ahsoka says, yeah, you help me take out this town. I'll help train them, blah, blah, blah. So they do. They go to the town, fuck shit up. But then at the end of the episode, Ahsoka's like, no, I don't think I want to train him because, he's kind of forgotten his Force abilities. He's got a lot of baggage, negative feelings, fear and anger and all that stuff.
Plus he has attachment to Mando.
And now he's got attachment to Mando. So she doesn't want to train him. Tells Mando to go take him to that one planet I can't remember the name of, but it's actually an actual planet in the series. And then if a Jedi will sense him and come calling. So that's basically where it ends. I really dug on it. A lot of cool action, and again, expanded on the mythology. Getting a sense of who Baby Yoda was, his backstory, and setting up what may happen. Is this a prelude to Luke? Is this will Luke come and will the last episode of this season be Mando bringing him into that planet and Luke opening up his eyes, sensing Baby Yoda from across the galaxy? Will that be the final shot and then cut to black? The last episode.
I doubt it.
But
I doubt they make any reference to Luke on here.
But other Jedi, there's not many Jedi left. Ezra, they could bring back Ezra from.
That's
Rebels.
who I'm thinking. Who is going to be?
And this kind of sets up kind of a tragic story for Baby Yoda, because we all know what happens to the Jedi.
Baby Jabba coming soon.
Well, Jabba was in what's the name? What was that kid's name? What the fuck is his name? Jabba's son was in the Clone Wars cartoon. What the hell was his name? It was like Shitter or something. It was like a stupid name. Like
Worse than
Jabba had
Grogu?
Baby Hutt. It was a Baby Hutt. I can't remember. His name was like, well, yeah, it was like Pooper or something. It was a really stupid name, Jabba's son. But no, I'm talking about like when they finally we all know what happens. Luke starts up the Jedi Academy. Kylo Ren fucks everybody up. Was Baby Yoda a part of that Jedi Academy Luke started? And does
Maybe he's one of the Knights of Ren. They never took their helmets off. So.
Yeah. Does he eventually get killed?
Right.
So.
Yeah, so. Oh, did you share it out?
I did share it to Outright Geekery and to Facebook.
Did you share it to the Bullies page? I did.
Oh no, I did not.
Yeah, because I can't get it there either. All right, while you doing that, let me get my points on what I thought. Like I said, this episode was awesome. 5 out of 5. Loved it. Honestly, my favorite episode of The Mandalorian. Some of my favorite Star Wars stuff. Like honestly, because this episode was just awesome. Dave Filoni directed the episode, and he gets it. That's the thing. I mean, he gets it on a level that like most other people don't get. Like the samurai influence he was doing, just the imagery and the cinematography he was doing. It was all like Star Wars-esque. Because Star Wars at the end of the day is pretty much just an homage to samurai Western movies. And that's all this episode was. Also, the bad guy, the magistrate of it, that was Bruce Lee's goddaughter. I didn't know that until I looked it up on Facebook.
I didn't know that either. Sure.
Yeah. So that's Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
Look at you with all the facts.
Right. So she's like a real stunt woman and stuff like that. So that's why they put her in there. So I thought that was pretty awesome also.
That was
gunslinger.
a cool duel, man. That was a
cool ass duel, just imagery. Even though I felt like I said, Ahsoka, if y'all badass she says she is, and she was trained by Darth fucking Vader, I'm pretty sure she could end that fight in 2 seconds if she wanted to. But still a cool fight. I'd rather have that than, her just flick her finger and she flies across the galaxy or shit like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Plus,
thing.
It was pretty much established that she was trying to get information out of her anyway.
Yeah. That's the thing is like Ahsoka, spoilers for those who haven't watched the Clone Wars cartoon, Ahsoka left the Jedi Order. She got framed for a crime. She got framed for bombing the Jedi Temple. And the whole council was like, actually thought she did it. And only Anakin was the only one who basically didn't believe. But even he thought like she could do that. So she kind of got disillusioned with the Jedi. It was like, how could you guys think I could do that? So she kind of like said, fuck you to the Jedi, to the Jedi, and left. And because she also got disillusioned with the Jedi because of the war and the politics that was going on. So, so she left, and then she stopped her training. She never became a master or whatever. So that also could be a reason why she doesn't want to train Baby Yoda, because she really doesn't want to have anything to do with the Jedi because of the Jedi allowed the Sith to come back. So
true. Which same thing that Luke was saying in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, her master became Darth Vader. So she's like, yeah, I'm not going to train. If this kid has all this fear and he hasn't done shit in decades, no, I'm not going to set him on the path.
Because she said she's seen that before. And even if you don't know anything about what she's talking about, you can just feel it in Rosario Dawson's, like speech, dialogue, like, whoa, there's some history right there. There's some hurt right there. I want to become famous. Yes, we do, Ogre Man 12. You want to hack us? Oh, man. But yeah, like I said, this was just an awesome thing, man. They just keep topping themselves over it.
And the big name drop at the end.
Right.
Thrawn.
I don't know who that is, but I feel like that was a big thing because I know every Star Wars fan that followed this just shit their pants when they heard that.
Yes. Well, Thrawn is an old,
I know he's from the EU.
Yes. Yeah. So he was in the sequel, the original sequel trilogy. The Thrawn trilogy, the one that Timothy Zahn wrote back in the early 90s. There was 3 books, about what happened after Return of the Jedi. Grand Admiral Thrawn was introduced. In that story, Luke marries Mara Jade, Leia and Han get, married and have 2 twins. One of them turns to the dark side. All that EU stuff.
Right.
But he showed up in Rebels, so he's officially part of the new canon. So yeah, him when they name drop Thrawn, I like again splash.
Also, one more thing. The gunslinger in the episode, that was Michael Biehn.
Johnny Ringo.
Yeah. Didn't that end the same way? It's been a while since I've seen Tombstone. Didn't that end the same way?
Pretty much. He got shot.
Right. He got shot and he was like, oh, don't, So yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot, let's move on to that. I guess we move on past that. Let's move to the video game section.
Okay.
I got some stuff to say. I got some news to give everybody. What do we got here? Yeah, here. Okay. So, news we got. Eli, have you done any Black Friday shopping?
Just online. I got some movies. I got like the original Spider-Man movies for like the Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy for like $17.
You just not got that? Didn't you list that as one of like your top 5 favorite movies?
I didn't have no, this one came with that director's cut of Spider-Man 2 that I'd never seen.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually 4 movies. The first 3 Spider-Man movies plus the director's cut of Spider-Man 2. So, but it was $17. I'm like, shit, I'll buy that for $1 or 17 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but here's the thing I wanted to talk about with this. This is the thing that I got for Black Friday. Yes, there is a deal right now for Xbox Game Pass. Now, Eli, I think this is probably like the best deal out there right now as far as gaming, value. And it's $20
for 3
for
months?
Target right now. Like regular price for like $45 on sale for $20 at Target right now. Like right now, go ahead and get it before the sale ends. Whoever wants to
tomorrow
get that.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow, whenever it is. So go ahead and get it. Like I said, they changed it around so EA Play come with it also. So all the EA games, like all the Star Wars games, all the Madden games, stuff like that, they're in that package for $15. Plus you get all the Xbox games like that. Now the reason I bought it because I want to know if that works on the PC. Now if it works on the PC and I can play Madden on PC just from from that deal, hey, I'm gonna subscribe to that. You can't beat that deal. So. That's all I gotta say about that. Oh, they also got some weird shit about the PS5. They're saying, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying like the PS5 was the biggest launch in PlayStation history for the first month. I don't know how it's possible because nobody has one.
That's like every PlayStation that comes out. You can't ever get one for a while.
Can't ever get one, but this is like really bad. Like nobody can get one. And then what they're saying is that people have been like hackers have been hacking like the websites like Walmart and Best Buy and Target. Like the moment they go online, they'll send bots and drones out and just snatch them up just like that. There's even some third-party retailers said they got 3,500 PlayStations right now. So they're selling more PlayStations than like the regular retailers are supposed to get them. So weird as shit. Let's see what do we got here. Cheap and easy deals. I like it. Yes, 2,000 man, get it. Next podcast, I will let you know whether or not it works on the PC or whether or not I just blew my money because I don't even have an Xbox. So we'll see how that works. Hell, let's move on to the next part. I guess we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna move into the next part of the podcast.
All right.
Yeah. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books. Now, we're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I guess we're gonna start with the Ten of Swords finale.
Ooh, the finale! Finally,
finale. Now, there were 3 books that came out. I'm only gonna talk about the last one. All you need to know that a whole bunch of other fucked up shit happened. But anyway, let's just jump into it. What do we got here? X-Men. Yeah. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called. 10 of Swords Destruction #1 is what it's called. And of course, one? Yeah. I mean, but it's the last one, so it's whatever. So yeah, 10 of Swords Destruction. So basically how the book starts out. Now I gotta give you some setup. I'm gonna give you some setup at least because there was some other shit that happened in between the books. Remember the last book was Apocalypse and his wife was about to fight to the death, for the fate of the universe and all this shit like that, which is cool. But and what happens? Apocalypse actually beat his wife. I know that's fucked up, but
That sounds fucked up.
it sounds fucked up, but it's not as fucked up as it sounds.
Beat her in a sword fight. He beat.
And that sounds even worse, but you get the point.
Well, at least she had a sword too.
She had a sword too, so she would defend herself.
That doesn't sound as bad as he just beat his wife.
Right. I mean, it was in combat. They were fighting each other. So that doesn't sound better either.
she was gonna destroy the earth. So we gotta
There we go. That sounds better. That sounds better. Okay, so he beat his they fought, he won the competition, but Saturnine said, okay, you gotta finish it. Because remember, when Gorgon did all that bullshit in the last round, they tied up. So this Apocalypse versus his wife was going to be the last fight. And that's when let me go ahead and do this. That's when they fought. But since Apocalypse didn't finish it, Annihilation, no, he ripped the Annihilation mask off, and Annihilation took him over, and he decided to like destroy everything and just go nuts and all this shit like that, you know. So they had to stop him from doing all that. Then some weird shit happened, and somehow the Captain Britain Corps popped up, and a whole bunch of Captain Britons popped out of nowhere, and they fought, and Jean Grey and Cyclops got kicked out of the Quiet Council because they went against their wishes and decided to go after Cable, you know, by themselves. So what all of this shit happened. So now you're kind of caught up. So anyway, all out fight, rules are gone. Nobody gives a fuck about the rules anymore. Annihilation trying to destroy everything there is. I'm trying to see what's going on. And trying to think what happened. Oh yeah. Annihilation. Did she take over again? Yeah. Annihilation gets the mask back. His wife gets the mask back. She goes nuts, goes crazy, shit like that. And she summons like a Cthulhu monster to destroy everything. And she wants to destroy the earth. She wants to destroy her core, stuff like that. Meanwhile, coming through the portal, you get the sword base. You know, the sword, like the agents of sword base like that. The X-Men have hijacked it. Long story, I'm not gonna explain it. They crashed through the other world, shit like that. And then, you know, Cyclops gives this speech about, okay, we're going to go out here. We're going to get our team back. We're going to bring it back out like that. Jean wants to take over. She's like, okay, cool. And she says, to me, my X-Men. So every X-Men ever jumps out of the sword base and starts attacking everybody. Like, oh, Jubilee, Gambit, Rogue, whoever the fuck ever. Everybody just pops out of nowhere. You know, doesn't matter. She's still super strong. Eventually they win because how do they win? Oh, Apocalypse takes over the Annihilation mask. He fights it all, and he forfeits the match. He basically says, I lose. So when he says he loses, that means Saturnine is allowed to stop the fight. So all this madness where aliens and demons and music shit like that about to take over, she can stop it. She just snaps her finger, everything just stops. So the X-Men back to wherever they came from. But Apocalypse decided to stay with his family. He like, y'all go and stay with my family. And that's it. And that's pretty much it. It ends with, Saturnine having control of the Captain Britain army, but she doesn't get to sleep with Captain Britain. The end. And she like, hell, long live the Queen. The Queen is blah, 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 and all stuff like that at the end. So, yeah, like I said, this is the shit that Gomer goes fucking nuts over. I thought this was very anticlimactic. That's just me. You know, she just sitting there, just all depressed and shit like that.
They went on Comic Cast. Not Comic Cast.
I know they did. They got to break this shit down left, right. Oh, this happened, and break down the law and all that shit. Oh, no. I wanted some Mortal Kombat shit, and they had like foot races and fashion shit. It was like pockets of badassery.
They actually said,
like, what the fuck is happening?
They actually said the issue was just a bunch of talking, but Jonathan Hickman can write such good talking. And
oh man. Oh man. I guess since everybody shitting on Donny Cates now, everybody need new dick to suck. So here goes Jonathan Hickman. So yeah.
He writes talking.
My thing is, it was built up as this, and it wasn't that. But every now and then, you got a little bit of that what you wanted. But basically, the whole thing was about Saturnine wanted to fuck Captain Britain. Captain Britain curved her, so she just decided this Mortal Kombat thing just to screw him over.
Well, you can't bust your nut all at once, you know.
Right. Hickman playing
Yeah,
long game
yeah.
again. Yeah, I know Hickman's playing the long game because he does it in all his books, like Fantastic Four and Avengers. And I'm pretty sure this is just a stepping stone to the real story he's going to make. I feel like basically this whole thing felt like filler. Now there were some consequences. The Krakoa banned the X-Men name. Nobody's allowed to be like the X-Men are gone. Nobody's allowed to use the X-Men name anymore. Because they said that using the name X-Men means that you're putting yourself over. You're putting yourself over Krakoa. Like the rules of Krakoa don't apply to you because you're going to.
Oh, I thought it was I thought it was a sexist. That was sexist. X people like our.
What about X women? Like no, X sports. You know what I'm saying? Like nah, they just say that saying X men means that you're not. Basically, you're supposed to be a nationalist. You're supposed to be a nationalist through Krakoa, and basically calling yourself an X-Men means that you're putting yourself above that. So they just banned the name X-Men. So X-Men are not allowed in Krakoa anymore.
So,
or at least using that name is not allowed in X-Men.
The Krakoa-tonians or Krakoa Knights or something, or the Krakoa
or some shit. So I don't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing. There's going to be an issue down the road, but who knows? Anyway, we're done with the Ten of Swords, Cross of Swords, X of Swords, Kiss of Swords, whatever the fuck you want to call this shit. We're done with the sword shit. Oh, Storm gave the score back to Wakanda. Everybody's looked at the stupid, like, get the fuck out of here. That was it.
What's coming up next? This Reign of 10 or Reign of X
or some shit.
Reign of X or something, or Storm of X or Storm of 10s or what? I don't know. What's that about now?
Look, we're just gonna just listen to this Geeks and Comics or whatever they talk about. That's it. So, Magic calling us the well, they can't call us the ex-humans because they're not human.
They're not humans, man. They're
it's like
Magneto would flip his shit. Like, no,
human.
No.
Just start choking motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh, what up, Fat T? Fat T's in the house.
Fat T, what it do? Just checking in. Okay. Fat T, we are not beefing with OG, anything like that. I have to clarify. One of us got into trouble, got banned from Facebook. So, so don't worry. Hopefully we'll be back next week and everything will be back to normal. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. What book you got?
Let's see. What are we doing? You read Maestro?
Yeah, but we're gonna wait.
Okay, so you want to do Maestro? Okay.
No. You can do it, but we're gonna do another book for right now.
Oh, should I do Shang-Chi?
I want to save Maestro. I want to savor Maestro.
Shang-Chi?
Not yet. I want to say Shang-Chi also. You can do it. I just want.
How about Werewolf by Night? I'll do Werewolf.
All right, cool. All right. You can do that one.
Okay, Werewolf by Night. So this is number 2. This is Taboo, and what's that guy's name? The other guy writing this?
Okay, Taboo. We need to just go. They need to just put him on the payroll now. I'm pretty sure he's on the payroll now.
Benjamin Earl. Yeah, Taboo is writing all the native characters now.
He's a go-to guy now. He's on the payroll.
He's the native Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah. He like, we got more viewers here now than we had on Facebook. Doesn't make any sense, but anyway.
Okay, so Werewolf by Night. This is introducing a new werewolf character, hero or whatever, the Marvel Werewolf by Night series. He's a Native American Hopi kid on the reservation. His name is Jake Gomez. And he has this it's sort of a not a curse, but the dark family secret where at night he turns into a werewolf. But his friend, he has a friend named Molly, who he kind of has the hots for, of course. And she showed him that music sort of can make him control. Music soothes the savage beast. And so he's able to control and not totally wolf out and go on a killing spree like he should. I wish he would.
It's Marvel.
Yeah, it's Marvel, so we're not going to get that. But anyways, there's been a bunch of missing teens turning up, or like going missing on the res. It turns out that this pharmaceutical company is basically kidnapping these kids and doing fucked up experiments on them, turning them into, animal monster hybrids. Last issue ended where, Jake, or the wolf Jake, got into a fight with a bunch of these mutant monster things. And that's we jump into here. he's all wolfed out, fighting, there's a pretty cool panel, where Jake, the native Jake Wolf is fighting like this cyber wolf guy, and during this whole thing, he's like starting to lose control. He ain't got his headphones on, so he's starting to lose control, and and he starts fucking these motherfuckers up pretty bad. He's like, I never felt that way before. Anyways, they're doing some more, finding out. It's basically more about what's going on with this corporation doing this shady shit. Red Wolf shows up, and he's there, kind of investigating.
Whoa, Red Wolf?
Yes, Red Wolf is there too.
Okay.
And he basically tracks down Jake, who's on the run, from these monsters and this pharmaceutical company, and they kind of find him in the desert, in this cave, hiding in this cave. But then the military or these mercs are coming for him, and then Red Wolf gets there, finds Jake, but then it turns to night. So now he's wolfing out again, and now he doesn't have his music to control. So he's trying to, not lose control, but he just turned into a werewolf. And that's where it ends, It's okay, I mean, I'm reading this out of obligation. Putting my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, support Taboo.
Yeah, and I gotta support, a native hero in a comic, and that's what they're trying to go for. Like, they're trying to make this guy a superhero, only he's a werewolf. It's
like Rawhead Rex in it.
Yeah, he does look like kind of like Rawhead Rex.
Wait, who is Rawhead Rex?
That's a monster. That's a Clive Barker story, monster movie.
Okay.
But we go into a little. What I thought was interesting, like the story's okay. It's predictable. It's nothing new. The adolescent superhero juggling. The pressures of adolescence and being a hero and all that stuff. He has the hots for this chick. He listens to fucking System of a Down, who I think suck. I don't give a shit. That's the song he listens to keep him from calming down. I'm like, that would fucking.
We gotta listen to shitty music.
That would drive me nuts. That would drive me nuts if I had to listen. But we're getting that. It's nothing new. We've seen it before. Red Wolf. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm wondering where you coming around with Red Wolf.
Red Wolf kind of sort of is sounding a little bit stereotypical, cliche, mystical Indian guy. We have to listen to the wind and, all that shit, kind of sort of corny a little bit, a little bit. But we do get some interesting backstory on Jake's life, that his dad was actually Mexican, and he ran with a Mexican biker gang. And we go into his past, which I thought that was a really cool, the splash page was really cool. There's his dad on that one end, this side. Oh shit, on this side. Fucking digital shit. Yeah, that's his dad right there. And he was a biker. And so the two sides, for us mixed bloods like myself, just sort of coming to terms with, being from two different races, and that struggle to maintain your identity while being fucked with by everybody too, and we also get this thing about the conquistadors, because they're two. So that's the thing, the history of native people and Spain. The Spaniards, those conquistadors were some rotten, vile motherfuckers, So now he's got like that past clashing with his native past, because traditionally these two peoples were enemies, you know what I mean? So right. That I thought that was interesting. So there's like, again, when diversity works, when you find accurate representation, you get those little subtleties that, that matter, that hit home with you, that you wouldn't get if you got a non-person of color telling these stories. So for that, it gets a 4 out of 5. But other than that, it is just, your basic, that's a Spider-Man comic with a werewolf instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
You can still Taboo is getting, he's a little, he's still developing his comic writing chops. You know what I'm saying?
Right. At least they just
Yeah.
gave him like stories here and there instead of just like we don't know how long the story's gonna last, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
2000 Man Reborn, I don't think they're gonna go with the high evolutionary. I think that's a little bit too big concept for Taboo. I don't think Marvel's gonna let him use that character because that's a little bit too much. We talking some cosmic shit there. So
yeah.
that's my thing. Now if they do, hey, that's on me.
Well, yeah, I mean, watching monsters, I'm a creature feature kind of guy. I love monsters. Watching these monsters fight, hey, they haven't lost me yet, you know. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay, Eli, I want to know, have you heard about this book? Oh no, not that one. Not that one. I spoiled it for myself. It was a book called The Other Side of DC Universe #1. Have you heard about this book?
I heard about that. I was looking at it. I almost got it. I wasn't
Okay.
sure. I should have got it then. I didn't think you were going to get it. So
I didn't know it existed until today, to be honest with you. But I was like, just like you read Taboo, I'm obligated to read this.
okay.
You know, I have to, because the thing is, this book is written by John Ridley. I think I said it right. John Ridley, the guy that wrote 12 Years a Slave.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's writing comics now.
Okay.
Let me make sure I didn't butcher his name. Yeah, John Ridley, 12 Years a Slave. He wrote that. He wrote some other stuff also, but mainly he wrote that. Now he wrote this comic. This comic is a Black Lightning comic.
Okay.
It's all about Black Lightning, nothing but just Black Lightning. What it does, it talks about from Black Lightning from 1972 to 1995. So it's pretty much the entire history of Black Lightning from then to 1995, and it's pretty much canonical with the post-crisis term, and that was like that. It's pretty accurate because I'm pretty familiar with my Black Lightning lore. So what they were doing, I'm like, okay, he hit that, hit that, hit that. But here's the twist. It told it from the perspective of Black Lightning. So what he was thinking and what was going through his head at the time when all this stuff was going down. For instance, like Black Lightning was a decathlete. Now I know people watch the CW, they like, oh, he wouldn't decathlete. Yes, in the comics, he was decathlete. Reason he was decathlete because he used to run from gangbangers and thugs all the time. He used to like run his ass away from it. He got so fast, he decided, join the Olympics. Won decathlon. But because he was black at the time, they didn't want to put his face on there, so they gave it to Mark Spitz, to be on the Wheaties cover, And the only job he can get, even though he's technically the most, since he's a decathlon golden winner, he's the most accomplished physical male specimen on the planet. That means nothing. The only thing he can do is get a job coaching high school kids in bad neighborhoods. That's all he can do, So it goes there. And that's what he does. And he sees superheroes popping up, all that, but they're all white. White superheroes, and they never go down. They never go to the hood. All they do is just fight aliens and monsters, the Justice League and stuff like that. But he thinking he's doing a better job because he's actually helping the kids,
Yeah.
And there is eventually there is one black superhero that does show up, Jon Stewart, But but is he really, or is he just a replacement to stand there for another white superhero? I mean, we can't really count Jon Stewart. I mean, he's a diversity hire, basically.
He's the black cop.
He's the black cop, basically. They look down on him. But at the same time, Jon Stewart, think he's hot shit. So he goes down, looks down on them. If you work hard and does this, you can be like me. Even though, Black Lightning, Jeff Spears look like, you ain't shit. You just like the third or second replacement after some more white guys. And they don't even let you in the Justice League. So who are you? But eventually, and I'm not going to get it. Look, if you want to follow Black Lightning's history, do that. I'm not gonna get into Black Lightning history. It's all in there. Anyway, he becomes some other shit that goes on, like some interesting stuff that was going on, like with his wife and his kids, because he was hiding the fact he was Black Lightning from them. So he come home with all these bruises and stuff like that. His wife, wants to make love. He can't because he's all beat up and shit like that. But and eventually he drifts more and more apart, and she just up and just leaves him one day. And she just like, the reason I left you because I knew you were Black Lightning. And I didn't leave you because you were Black Lightning. I left because you never told me you were Black Lightning. Because I realized that you care more about that. You care about your own family. Matter of fact, you probably didn't even know we were gone until I just called you, did you? And then he was like, oh shit, I didn't. And some even more fucked up shit. I actually read this book. I wish I had that cover. Damn it, I don't have that cover. Remember that Black Lightning cover with the Justice League where you said, you jive turkeys, I ain't joining you, You may or may not. I don't have the picture in front
No,
of
I
me. But
don't.
anyway, the Justice League did some fucked up shit to him. And this is actually a real comic. I read this shit where they didn't know if they want Black Lightning to join the Justice League. So they like sent 3 random ass goons that was them in disguise to fight him, and he beat them. And so then when he realized he was good enough to join the Justice League, they actually talked among themselves whether or not they should let a black dude in the Justice League. Keep in mind, they have Atlanteans, Martians, all kind of Kryptonian aliens and shit like that. But the black guy was gonna where they worried about whether or not they should let him join it like that. Eventually, he said, "Fuck y'all," and just left. Let's see what happened like that. This sounds like good. It is. I'm gonna talk more about this in a second. But like I said, this is all this is Black Lightning lore. There's nothing he made up. All he did was just tell it from his point of view.
Does it have where Lois Lane becomes a black woman for a day?
He didn't go there. And then, of course, Batman shows up and cruises to the outside like that. Batman knows everything about him. He knows about his wife. He knows about his kids, and he talks him. Because at this time, he gave up being Black Lightning. And that happened in comics also because some shit went down. A 17-year-old got shot in a subway because of, something he did. But he talked about joining the Outsiders. And he realized what the Outsider was. Like, basically, Jefferson Pierce was talking shit about the Justice League because they never went to the hood. They never, said about it. Oh, and he lived on MLK Boulevard in Metropolis. Now, like I said, Martin Luther King was about, peace, nonviolence. But any MLK Boulevard you go to anywhere in America, it's plenty of violence there. Doesn't matter where you go. So he stays there, and that's what he was doing, like cleaning up the stuff there. Then eventually he becomes actually good friends with John Stewart. He realized John Stewart was doing his best, also no reason to look down on him. And then he realized that other more black heroes start showing up, like Cyborg and Vixen and shit like that. He like, I can retire, do my thing, But he always brings a suit with him just in case. And they show his 90s suit, in the book also. So what do I think about this book? This was like I said, if you know your Black Lightning lore, is nothing he told you that you don't already know. But it was interesting the way that he was. Like, you can hear Jefferson Pierce's thought process going through that, and you really understood what he was thinking. Like, he's doing the right way, protecting black people. John Stewart is doing it the wrong way. The Justice League doing it the wrong way. But he realized at the end of the day that he just wants to just beat up people. He's just angry. He didn't give a fuck. So he's talking all this shit, but he's doing the same thing everybody else was doing. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, here's my problem. Like I said, this is not a comic writer. This is the writer of 12 Years a Slave. Now, remember that same shit that only we talked about with Ta-Nehisi Coates, that he wasn't a real comic writer?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this guy. He's not a real comic writer. He's a great writer. Don't get me wrong. He understands writing, but he doesn't understand comic writing. Because most of this book is just an info dump. He's telling you all this stuff like that. Where a comic, like a real comic writer, there's a synergy between the art and the words and the dialogue. With this, there was no synergy between it. It was just info dump, a picture.
Comic books are hard to write,
and that's what they don't get. That's what DC doesn't get.
Like to get it in the format too, because I got a writing degree. I've written journalism. Yeah, I was writing for Outright Geekery. I've written articles, reviews, blah blah blah. I've written movie scripts, I've written TV scripts, I've written, articles and blah. I've written fiction. Comic books are such a pain in the ass out of all that shit because you're so limited in what you can portray. You only have so many panels to tell your story. It's like, it's challenging, but it also forces you to cut away the bullshit and just focus on what needs to happen. And that's so hard.
It's a medium unto itself.
Yes, it's challenging. So yeah, when you got these great, thespian writers who write these novels, who write these great works of whatever to come in, transition to a comic book, you can tell like, okay, yeah, this guy just likes writing words and,
Right. He doesn't know how to write a comic. There's a difference between a writer and a comic writer. But I guess since he won an Oscar, he's smarter than everybody else. And I get that. That. But at the same time, like I said, this is a medium, and the medium has separate rules than movies does And I think like people that come from TV shows and movies and articles like Ta-Nehisi Coates, I think they do look down on comics and people that write comics. They're like, oh, that's shit. I can just do that in my sleep. I can do it in my spare time while I do something else. You know, like J.J. Abrams, like just gave his son a job, huh? Write a fucking comic. Just leave me the fuck alone. You know. But it's more to it. It's an art form in itself. Yes, comic drawing is an art form. Comic writing is an art form. It's different than just writing. Yeah.
Choosing what images to show, how to tell that story through sequential art is.
They didn't. Hey. Cliff, what up? You are right. And they actually explain it in the book. The Outsiders didn't go to the hood either. But they were a little bit more political than the Justice League. Even though he did say Batman was full of shit because he only drafted him on the team because he needed a black dude to pretend like he was Lucius Fox's brother. So, and Jon Stewart was off the planet. So, yeah, it was second choice.
No, that's funny that he said that because you know, back when I was doing Geek Savs, my other podcast, I interviewed this guy, Teddy So. If you're listening, what up? He's a comic artist. He has his own comic, Native American comic superhero called Captain Paiute. And he geared it for kids. And he's like, you know, he created this character, he said, because as a comic nerd growing up, you know, on the res, you know, reading about Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, he's like, none of those motherfuckers ever came to the res. Right. So he's like, I'm gonna create a character that protects the res. And that's why he did his own comic. But yeah, that's just interesting when that they bring that point up that, yeah, the Outsiders.
They even go a little bit further. Not just they don't go to the hood, but okay, like I said, this was doing like I said, they based the book is in real time from 1972 to 1999. So all the political stuff that was happening, like in 1979, the Iran, like hostages, they took a hostage in Iran. Yeah. So they talk about that in there also, and they were like, okay, so if Iran has American hostages over there right now, why don't the Justice League go over there and do it? So in the book, the Justice League actually put out a statement saying that they, as an organization, are apolitical. They don't jump into it, even though they know that any one of them just jump over there and just end this shit anytime and just bring it over. But they like, no, we're going to be apolitical. We're going to stay out of this. So like, y'all are full of shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought all that was pretty interesting also. But like I said, to go to my original point, like I said, all these are interesting points. Like I said, I never seen 12 Years a Slave because fuck slave movies. That's just me, you know.
I've never seen it either because of that
right. It wasn't like a shitload of Oscars stuff like that, but we're not gonna go there. But I get it. This guy is a great writer. You can tell just by reading the story, he is a great writer. He is not a comic writer, and that is okay. And I feel like Eli, when I started like looking at the reviews of this book, everybody's getting it 5 out of 5, 6.5 out of 5. So like it's the same shit they were doing when Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote that Black Panther #1 book. They were just giving it 5 out of 5. That's right. It was the greatest thing ever. 10 years ago. We were the only ones, you, me, and Eric at the time, only ones that said that book sucked.
It was just like, he didn't like do anything. He just talked. That's all.
Right. just monologue. That's all he did. So we were the only one. This is like when we first started podcasting. We read it because we know what a comic's supposed to read like. We know what it's supposed to be. I think most of the people, like, honestly, I think a lot of people that picked up that book, like I said, it sold 300,000 copies. I think a lot of that was their first comic. They don't know what a comic's supposed to be. So they think, well, this comic sucks. So I figure comic sucks all the way. So maybe this is just one of the best ones of what it is. You know?
Yeah, it was basically Ta-Nehisi Coates talking through Black Panther. You know?
Talking about Killing Joke. We've already done that.
Yeah,
You're late.
Killing Joke's dope. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The cartoon ain't what the comic is. Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon sucked. But yeah. But that's my whole point. Ta-Nehisi Coates, that first comic fucking sucked. Now, I will give Ta-Nehisi Coates credit. He has gotten better. But that first book fucking sucked. He knew what he was doing. We were the only ones that said the book sucked, but since nobody pays attention to us, we just fell on deaf ears.
And it took so long for that arc to get going. Remember, it was like couple 2-3 issues before stuff started finally happening. It was just them establishing a new government and a new kingdom and all.
Right. And it was funny, Eli. Like I said, people don't listen to podcasts, so when I say it sucks, it just fell on deaf ears. But when I start putting in posts and Facebook and social media, Twitter, I got shitted on. Yeah, I hate my own people.
They thought you were white, yeah.
Yeah. I'm the fucking coon because I'm talking shit about this shit ass comic. You know?
And I was just like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. It's good ideas. You can tell Ta-Nehisi has some is smart and he's very, socially aware of what's going on in the world. But goddamn, throw a fucking punch, will you?
Right, or something. So it's the same thing with John Ridley. Now here's why I'm going on this long rant about this right now, because I think we should go there. I'm gonna go there right now. He's the same guy that's writing that Black Batman story.
Oh, really?
That Future State? Yes, that's a real thing. DC is burying that book. They don't want you to know about that book because they know about that press release and all that stuff like that. I'm gonna just talk about this and get off that. But anyway, he's the same guy that's writing this Black Batman book where they got all this future shit. We got future Batman and future Superman and future Wonder Woman. I'll talk about shit later on. I'm not gonna go into big detail about it right now. But in a very small blurb in that new preview they had, oh, and it's a new Batman, but you can't see his face. He's completely covered up. You don't know who it is. Written by John Ridley. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I see what you're doing. You just don't want anybody to know what you're doing. They want to just spring it on you at the last minute. You know, so who we got? The comic medium always been juvenile by the public, even since we're mainstream. It is. It is. I mean, you can tell by the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, they dumb this shit down. Like Tony Stark drinking and alcoholism. You'll never see that shit in the MCU.
Everybody went and saw them. They watched the fuck out of that movies, all those movies, but none of them went and read any of the comics.
Creepy old man Dave. Yes, talk about different Batmans, Flash, Punky Brewster Batman, Baby Yoda Batman. No, that book fucking sucked. There are plenty of other comic podcasts, YouTube out there talking about that bullshit. DC Batman death metal. I thought the book sucked. I'm not gonna devote my energy there.
Is it me or does Duke look like Bumblebee from the Transformers?
I just don't get why you a Black Robin in bright yellow at nighttime. Like you're gonna be the first one to get shot. Oh man, but that's my whole thing about that. It worries me that this is the guy they're getting to write the story. And matter of fact, that Future State, I looked at the list of everybody they're writing that book right now. Everybody is from TV. Everybody is from Supernatural or some other shit over here or something like that. But everything that we were scared of that DC was going to do back in February and June when they fired Dan Didio and said this is what we're going to do, they're doing it. They're doing it right now. Black Batman, everything's in the future. They fired all their regular writers. They're bringing in TV writers, movie writers, stuff like that. This is exactly what they're doing. I'm scared, Eli. I'm scared.
And like I said, I mean, as a Batman fan, what I like about Batman isn't.
Thank you, Cliff. We us against the world. Shit.
Yeah. But what I like about Batman, is the fact that he's from this other world, this fictional fantasy world. Yeah, when you bring him into real world and deals with real problems, then it sucks. And yeah, he's just a rich white guy, flexing his privilege and beating up poor folk in the hood.
Right, because he got issues that he never got resolved when he was a kid.
Yeah. But
so he takes out a dude selling weed on the corner.
Yeah, but throw him in a comic book where he's fighting a man
Cliff,
bat.
I say priest, that's just me, but
yeah, man bat when he's fighting man bat, that's cool.
That's true. I mean, hey, like I said,
penguin riding a giant rubber ducky. Hey, that's done. That's what I like.
He got it's a fine line you got to write, but who's pissed about not black people, not the black people over 40. That is true. True.
Okay, boomer. No.
Oh man. All right. I went on too long about that. I didn't want to talk about. Actually, the book is good. Read the book. I do want to say that if you know your Black Lightning lore, I don't know how many people know their Black Lightning lore, but if you know it, this book is kind of redundant, but it is interesting to hear from his point of view. Matter of fact, this book is kind of like it almost feels like a ripoff of the Spider-Man book Chip Zdarsky wrote. That Life and Times, Life Story, something like that, where it's the same thing where it was in real time and Spider-Man aged in real time, just like that. That book was awesome. Go read that. So yeah, like I say. What you got?
I don't know. What can I read? What am I allowed to read?
You do whatever you want. It's
Shang-Chi? Want me to do Shang-Chi?
Knock yourself out. Wherever you want to go.
Okay. Shang-Chi
Technically, I just reviewed 2 books in one. So yeah.
Let me get it up here. Shang-Chi number 3.
Mm-hmm. Should we
Oh,
reveal it now or
yeah,
later?
let's do it. Yeah, let's do.
Let's do it. Okay,
Shout out to my boss. Yes.
shout out to my boss. My boss gave us bam.
Boom.
Yeah, he
Both of
gave
them.
us autographed copies by what's the guy named Gene Yoon.
Yeah.
Autographed copies. I don't know if you can see it right now, but yeah, but he gave us autographed copies of Shang-Chi
Yeah.
#1, and that's what we're doing right now. So he gave us these copies. Shout out to him. He's a long-time listener. He's not on the podcast right now. I know he's gonna listen to it later on. So we just want to say, man, really appreciate it. Appreciate you for all the support.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you very much. This was really cool to get in the mail. This is like an early Christmas present.
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you open up, you had that like that comic smell in it.
Yeah.
It was there, like, yeah, baby.
And signed by the writer, Gene Luen.
Because it was a book that we did review on the podcast. Go listen to it later on. Earlier, we gave rave reviews on it. We didn't shit on it. We actually gave a lot of praise on it. He heard the podcast. He knows the writer, so he sent us copies of it. So I like that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and this is a good book. This is I've been digging on this book lately. So okay, here we go. Shang-Chi #3.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going on? So Shang-Chi is it revealed that his father had created these different organizations that mastered different weapons. You know, there's the staff, there's the blades, there's the house of the 5 weapons society, you know, and each weapon has a master of the house. And basically Shang-Chi was chosen to lead them all, but Shang-Chi's sister, who he thought was dead,
Sister Hammer, yeah.
Sister Hammer, she's the leader of the Hammer Society. She wants to be leader. So she's challenging Shang-Chi for, you know, the spot to lead. And basically last issue, they fought a bunch of hopping vampires, and Shang-Chi got scratched by one, and he was like bleeding night or bleeding space or something. He was bleeding black night. It was like the night sky. His blood was like space or whatever. It had stars.
Yeah, bleeding stars and some shit.
Yeah, you know. So we pick up here, we get a flashback. Oh man, this was great. This flashback, they mention the Boxer Rebellion. You know, now this is again going back to like kung fu movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Boxer Rebellion is an actual historical event that happened in Chinese history where all these foreigners came in, were trying to like, you know, take over China, you know, and all the traditional martial artists sort of formed a rebellion to challenge them. And this is in a bunch of kung fu movies. This is referenced in I think in one of the Once Upon a Time in China movies was about that. I think there's a Shaw Brothers movie called The Boxer Rebellion, where, you know, the old kung fu fighters challenge, you know, the foreigner, all these foreign armies and shit. So that was cool that they referenced that during the Boxer Rebellion, that Shang-Chi and his father, or Shang-Chi's father, you know, the 5 weapons societies were involved in the rebellion, you know, and during that time, it was revealed that he killed his brother, who was one of the leaders.
Everybody thought he died of old age. He's like, nah, I killed him.
So basically, that was just a flashback. So we flash, you know, we fast forward to modern times. Shang-Chi, he's at the which house is he at? Is he at the Dagger House? He's at one of the houses. He's being trained on how to fight the hopping vampires. And
they name them in this.
They have a name. I forget what they're called.
The Jianji,
something like that. I just
Jiashi, which is a thing. I looked it up. It's a thing.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of, again, kung fu movies. There's a bunch of, that's a genre, the hopping vampire movies, you know, where they fight these like zombie vampire things, and they have to put like a talisman, like this piece of paper with like a spell written on it. They got to put it on their forehead to make them die again. That's how you kill them again, is you have to put like this magical spell on this paper, on this parchment paper, and stick it to their forehead to get the vampires to go back to their grave. So that's like, again, being a longtime martial arts movie fan, I was like just geeking out over this shit. So, but then he has a vision, right? He's is it his dad? I'm wondering if that's his uncle, because
no, it was his dad talking.
Yeah,
but he was telling him, look for this shit for your uncle.
Okay, yeah. And basically the fucking damn, what happened here? I'm sorry. This damn. Okay. Yeah, so they get attacked by Sister Hammer shows up and they're fighting and what happened? The one I forget what happened now. I remember a hopping vampire show. I remember a hopping vampire shows up.
Yeah, but his dead dad shows up and points him to like this background thing, this other place, and then that's when his sister shows up, and then he gets another map that he screenshots, but he can't make up the map himself.
Yeah, and then the one sister finds him in there and thinks he's doing something. That's when they start fighting. But then that hopping vampire shows up at the end,
mm-hmm.
you know, and that's right. The hopping vampire exploded, like it was planted there or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they attacked the Louvre. Because he was in France at the time.
Yeah, they're in France, and they had that's right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going through this like fucking this digital navigation.
Technology.
Yeah. So yeah, the place blows up and it's like to be continued. They're on the run now, and he's still bleeding. That his wound is still bleeding that weird space or whatever.
Right, but it's a little bit worse than that because it turns out that wound that that's bleeding, it looked like it's taking him over. He's becoming one of those vampires.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, and his sister told him his name at the end because she would never tell him his name from the beginning, but at the end she finally say, "Fuck it, I take my name."
Yeah.
So basically, it's like his brother and sister starting to come around to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm enjoying this series. Like it just the references to like kung fu movies and the Boxer Rebellion. I was just like really geeking out on it, and it's really diving into the history. Like, and that's the thing with kung fu movies. Yes, basically, we're getting the fact that they mentioned the Boxer Rebellion and that significant event in Chinese history. That's the purpose of how kung fu movies got so popular, especially when they first started in Hong Kong. And I mentioned this when we were talking about The Matrix, how Hong Kong was its own state ruled by the British for many years. It was a port city. It was a very westernized city. Everybody worked in factories. There was shipping yards and stuff. So the Chinese people who lived there, they really loved the kung fu movies because the Shaw brothers were making all these movies about traditional Chinese culture, and that's how they were getting their history through these movies. And if you go back and watch all those old kung fu movies, they're all about the same thing. They're all about nationalism and how they're always fighting invaders. The rival school comes and challenges in their school, or the Manchus show up, or the Mongols show up, and they're always, or the Japanese, like in Fist of Fury, the Japanese show up. That iconic shot of Bruce Lee kicking that sign off the school that says "No Chinese are dogs." That was highly popular at the time in China because they were in this British ruled city, and kung fu movies were giving them a sense of history and heritage. So that's what we're getting through this. In these comics, they're going back to that by just mentioning the Boxer Rebellion. You're getting that sense of Chinese history and heritage, So yeah, I'm digging on this book. So
yeah, sorry you guys want to hear more Batman. Sorry.
Oh, well,
what we do.
I did read Detective, so I guess like
you want to do Detective?
Well, you're next. Are you doing Maestro?
I can do Maestro. You do Detective. You do Detective. People ask for Detective. Do Detective. I'll do Maestro.
You want me to do?
I did 2 books back to back anyway. So
you want me to do Maestro now or Detective now?
Yeah. You go ahead and do Detective. Okay. Everybody want to hear Batman talk? We're about to talk Batman. After we talk about this shit, no more Batman.
Leroy hates Batman, so you know.
We just lost all our viewers right there.
Okay, Detective Comics, 1031, Peter Tomasi. We have that mirror guy. Remember him, the mirror guy?
The Looking Glass, whatever.
Yeah, the Looking Glass. He's like an anti-vigilante vigilante. And he's meeting with the that mayor. What's his name? Nakano? That mayor who used to be a cop.
Wait, what'd you say the name was again?
Is it Nakani? What's his name? Nakani. He was a cop. Nakano. Yeah, Nakano. He was.
Shit. Okay,
yeah.
let me before you go there. In that future state, like that future shit we were talking about, that's the mayor of Gotham at the time.
Okay, so he does win the election.
Yeah,
because
he becomes like he turns Gotham into a police state, and that's where all the future shit happens like that. So this is okay. Things we need to know about. So y'all want to talk about Batman? We talk about Batman. You need to pay the fuck attention.
Yeah,
we're dropping jewels.
Stuff that's going on now, like what's going on in Batman now.
Right, that will come into effect later on. So yeah.
So Nakano, he was an ex-cop. He's running for mayor, and his whole campaign is on anti-vigilantes, getting rid of the masks. He
bans vigilantes in the future.
Yeah,
in the future book.
Batman, the Bat family. So basically, he gets shot. This mirror guy, he calls himself the Mirror. He's anti-mask, anti-vigilante. He tries to, join forces with Nakano, but Nakano refuses. But basically all over the city, there's this anti-mask campaign going on. People like the people of Gotham are, no more masked vigilantes, no more Batman, no more Nightwing, all that shit. So there's all these protests going on in the city. At one point, there's a counter protest. These counter protesters show up to challenge the anti-maskers. So there's all this anti-mask and mask. Yeah.
Right. Anti-maskers.
No politics in comics at all, right?
Right.
Keep politics out of comic books.
That never happens.
Yeah. They shouldn't be about comics. They shouldn't be about politics. I
just want to see dudes in tights punching people.
Yeah, I just want to see fluffy kid shit. Yeah. So there's a counter protest that they're like, no, we back Batman. We back the Bat family. They've saved the city so many times from threats that the cops would never be able to fucking deal with. So no, we stand. We are for the vigilantes and shit. And there's like a riot breaks out and shit. And then who falls? Oh, Mirror Guy. Yeah, Mirror Guy ends up falling into the thing, right? Oh no, that's not Mirror Guy. Somebody falls off the thing and it looks like Batman pushed him. And then it's revealed that Hush has kidnapped a bunch of the Bat family. So Hush is back.
Hush is back, okay.
Hush is back, yes. For those who haven't read Batman Hush, read that shit.
Right. Not the movie, the comic.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of what Damian's doing. Damian is going around he left the Teen Titans. He's no longer Robin. He's going around trying to solve cases that Batman could not solve. And right now he's tracking down like people who tried to kill Bruce Wayne, tried to assassinate Bruce Wayne. And he finds this cop. He's in her house. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm here you got to turn yourself in because you were involved in trying to kill Bruce Wayne back in the day, and I can prove it. It's Damian." And she pulls his gun out on him and he just grabs it from her. It's really cool. It's Damian. He grabs it from her. He's like, "Yeah, my mom was like, part of the League of Assassins and shit. And, so yeah, you're gonna have to try better than that, But basically tells like I have proof that you tried to kill Bruce Wayne and you're related to what's his name? Hush. So she's related to him.
Hydrate.
Yeah. So yeah, we get to see what's going on. So yeah, this is Detective, still pretty cool. This whole mirror guy thing, the anti-vigilante thing going on. And now that you say that this Nakano is actually going to become mayor.
Yeah,
that
everything
sounds
you're
intriguing.
saying is
Yeah.
what I read in that preview. Basically, it feel like it's leading up to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a 4 out of 5. Detective, 1 or 10, 30 something. 31.
1031. Yeah. So, like I said, all this lead up to the future state, Black Batman, Old Man Bruce, all that shit is gonna be a thing. So, all right. So, we done with Batman. We ain't talking about Batman anymore for this show. Then we're gonna talk about the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah.
And I know all you think about, Hulk is just smash. No, we love Incredible Hulk on here. That's just what we do. Like one of the few it's like one of the few comic characters we both agree is awesome.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
So, like I said, we both love the Hulk, and this is about Maestro number 4. Maestro number 4. Okay, so where this book is right now is that Maestro, we just saw him sick a bunch of his dogs of war on the people, and Hercules came out of nowhere and stopped it. Now, keep in mind, Hercules don't give a shit about the people. He just wants to fight Hulk. That's all he cares about. So he was like, Hulk, I see you popped up and showed again. All right, let's go. So Hulk gets rid of, all right, let's go. Hercules catches his punch with one hand. Like he ain't shit. You know. And then, I got to show you this. He puny gods him. He puny gods Hulk. Bam, bam, bam. I was like, oh, shit. So Hercules just wiping the floor with Hulk. Just to give a shit about him. Then throws up, then puny banner. You know, I was like, oh, damn, they did it. So Hulk is just...
Oh, go ahead. Where he like grabs his hands and picks him up, like how he breaks Doctor Strange's hands. Remember that one book where he broke?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like he broke his hands, just like he's doing it, like he's slamming him down. There's nothing Hulk can do against Hercules. Hercules is just wiping the floor with him, just beating the shit out of him. You know, and we've never seen Hercules just wild. And the thing is, he's saying like normally Hulk, when we fight, I would let you get stronger so I can have a decent fight. But since you're Professor Hulk right now, I know you can't get stronger. So this is as strong as you get. I'm just gonna just beat the shit out of you. And please yield because I don't want to kill you, but if you don't, I'm going to kill you. And then Hulk just said, look, I give up. I'm done. No mas. You know. So and that's what Hulk just like, look, man. And Hulk like, thank you. Hercules like, thank you. Okay, let's go back to the castle, get some wine, get some women. Hulk's like, nah, I can't do that. Look, I'm gonna go somewhere. I might be gone for a long time. When I come back, we'll sit down, we'll relax, and we'll chill. You're like, okay. So Hulk disappears. We don't know how long Hulk's gone. Was he gone for decades, years? We don't know. Some time has passed.
Yeah, time has passed. Yeah.
Time has passed when he comes back. So he comes back, and he comes back to, and like I said, Hercules is the Maestro now. So Hulk comes back, and this time he's got he's full Maestro beard like you see in Future Imperfect, stuff like that. He comes back with this woman. He talks to Hercules. He's like, Hercules, I'm back. I want you back clear, and I brought you a peace offering. I brought you a woman. And I don't know who drew this woman, but it looked like he had fun drawing her. You know. So Hercules like, oh yeah, let's
all those curves just right. Yeah.
Right, curves and everything. I know we don't like to lust at the cartoons like that, but fuck it. Damn. So Hercules like, you know what, let's go back to, I'm gonna take this woman to my office. We're gonna have a talk. Hercules, Hulk, make yourself comfortable, you know. So Hulk makes himself comfortable and he talks to the what was that guy's name in the book? The guy, he was in the old book. I can't remember his name. The priest or something?
Yeah, the one guy, yeah.
Whatever his name was. Anyway, he talks to Hulk and he's just like, you need anything? He was like, yeah, take me to the throne room. I want to see what the throne room like. Before we go, let me go to the car or some shit. Let me go to the car. I forgot something. I left something. Like, you left something? Yeah, let me go back and get something. So when he goes there, like I said, we got sexy whoever this is right here. And she's like, yeah, Hercules, let's get down to it. And then she reveals who she really is. My name is Vapor. She's one of the UFOs. Now, if you know your Hulk lore, the UFOs is one of his old bad guys, old villains and shit like that. But apparently, Hulk has made peace with them because they're teaming up to kill Hercules.
This is
like
still Hulk.
Yeah. Hercules couldn't, like, Hulk could do nothing with Hercules, but Vapor turned herself into poison, like arson, stuck herself into Hercules' nose. So not only can he breathe, he's breathing nothing but poison. Boom, dead. He's out of there. You know. So now you got, there's no Maestro.
Where's that panel where he's like, his eyes are bleeding and all that shit's coming out of his nose and mouth and shit?
Oh yeah, let me find it. Yeah, that shit was like brutal. I was like, oh damn, Hercules getting fucked up. Here's my thing: though. If Hercules was this easy to kill, why didn't she do this to Hulk like years ago? If they were trying to kill him, so yeah, so she does that thing. So she's out of there, and then Hulk thanks her by blasting her with what fucking gun he got from Alchemic Center.
Yeah.
Turns into fucking ice and punches her.
And then shatters her, yeah.
Yeah, just shatters her to a million pieces or like that, and then tells like the people there to like split her up in a million pieces, bury her all over the town. That way she can't reform herself, And then he's the new Maestro, and he tells that, oh yeah, get Hercules fuck out of here, get his dead body out of here. So Hulk is a new Maestro now. So that's how he came to power. Also, as a little blurb in there about Rick Jones. Rick Jones was telling Hercules, and this is the thing that they give us some background on her, Maestro we didn't know. Like I said, he's got all these personalities in his head: Gray Hulk, Green Hulk, Professor Hulk, all the stuff like that. But he also has Devil Hulk in his head also. So basically what they're saying is that Maestro is Devil Hulk taking over. And I started realizing, people are like, oh, damn. That makes a whole lot of sense.
That does, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story. So yeah, Maestro was fucking nuts taking over. And like I said, I think there's one more story left on to see what's going on, and that's it. Let's see what we got. I Vape 2. Yes, you are UFO.
Yeah, Vapor. Yeah.
Fucking Greg Fox and Hercules, bro. Yeah, you said it. You said this, but there's no Amadeus Cho. If Amadeus Cho was here, 2000 Man Reborn, I'd be like, yeah, you right there on the head. But yes, it does feel like a fuck you to Greg Fox run the way he did Hercules and this shit. So yeah, but yeah, awesome run. I want to see. It feels like it should be done now, because what else can you do? I mean, he's full on Maestro now.
It says to be concluded. We got one more issue after this.
Yeah, but it feels like it's done.
Yeah,
I guess
I mean, what's Rick Jones gonna do? Yeah, man.
Right. I guess Rick Jones has to do something, but the way Hulk made it seem like, I don't know. We'll see. We got one more book to go on there. Like I said, this is an awesome book. The puny God scene alone makes it a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, because doesn't Rick Jones establish that like rebellion or whatever?
He does. Rick Jones does establish rebellion. You're right. Yeah. So that's got to happen, because Maestro hasn't gotten the full power yet, and I think Maestro doesn't take over New York. He takes over some other city. I think. I can't remember, but we'll get to it and see. Shoot, any more books you got? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I want to review. I mean, I read a bunch of shit. I just didn't. Yeah, I'm pretty much booked out. I read. What else did I read? Yeah, I'm pretty booked out. Yeah, fuck it. Oh, I read that Snake Eyes. Who gives a shit? Liefeld drawing Snake Eyes. He's red now. He turned red, so totally, in your face Deadpool reference now. Storm Shadow showed up.
I think Red Liefeld wasn't paying attention. It just drew him red. Like, oh shit, I'm not drawing Deadpool.
Oh, we'll say he's got some magic spell that turned him red. So yeah. Bullet Man shows up, and then Storm Shadow shows up, and I was like, man, but it's like this weird fantasy story where they're fighting swords. It's basically X of Swords. That's a tournament or whatever.
Well, Hercules isn't dead if you read Hercules limited series. He seems pretty dead, Cliff. I don't know.
This is Maestro, the Maestro verse. So
yeah, this is a whole nother universe. So, and plus Hercules doesn't pop back up the Water Jug and Ron Jeremy show.
There you go.
Hey, that's what we're gonna call it. Oh man. So yeah, Cliff. No, I think Hercules is done for this. Because like I said, this is some Future Perfect shit. If Hercules was dead, he would have kicked Hulk ass out of there. So, oh shoot.
Have you ever seen The Octagon with Chuck Norris?
Not really. Chuck Norris made so many movies in the 80s, I can't remember which was which.
Yeah. Well, after reading Snake Eyes, I'm like, because it had Storm Shadow, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch The Octagon, because that was kind of probably where they got the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, idea that they were brothers and shit and trained by ninjas and shit. So I watched it, and it hasn't aged very well. The movie, I used to love it as a kid because it was ninjas and shit.
Yeah.
Has not aged very well at all. I actually thought, damn, this movie sucks. I can't believe I liked this as a kid. Well, I was a kid.
That's right. Lone Wolf McQuade still kicks ass. So
that still holds up. Yeah,
that still holds
a
up.
few of his movies still hold up. Yeah.
Gave up Walking Texas Ranger. So
Yeah.
Shoot. Anything else we got? We booked out? Or?
Yeah, I'm pretty booked out. I read other shit,
Okay.
but I don't.
Like I said,
I
if
don't
you listen to this long, if like, share, subscribe. Good news, we are back on iTunes. We worked hard. We finally figured the thing out. So we're back on iTunes, back on Spotify, back on Google Podcasts. So you find us anywhere you want to listen to podcasts, listen to us on the road, stuff like that. We will be back on Facebook, hopefully next week, unless one of us do some more stupid shit. You know, if not, we'll be back on there. And we'll be back up and running like it's normal. So no, we're not boycotting the OG. We didn't get kicked off outright geeking or like that. Everything's still good. We're still gonna do that top 5 graphic novels thing whenever Gomer get his schedule together. So we'll figure that thing out.
I think they're doing the Gremlins thing this week.
I may have something to do.
That
All
scare you? Are you scared of Gremlins?
I wasn't scared. I'm just not attached to it. I don't know. I like part 2 better, honestly, because it was stupider. It was just a stupid movie. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But it caught my attention. I don't know. And that Tony Randall star spreading news, New York scene. It stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But anyway, until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
Bravo, let's get him out of here.
We pray at night for the helpless, hoping you get us through breakfast, wishing somebody come save us. Black lightning's back, come to shock the haters. Woke up in the ghetto, we need our hero back. Guns clapping, gangs active, like where we at. Black lightning need to strike, like where we at. Show us another way beside these guns and crack. Nighttime suit up, this for payback. This our Superman, Robin, and the Bat. Step back, you might get shocked off of contact. This was for the hood, this for being black. We ain't got no hope, they killing every day. I mean, we need you in every way. We need results, we don't need to see your face. Here we come, just to say the day. Here we come, just in perfect timing. To help the needy and guide the blinded. Last night I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, this is for the street, Black Lightning's back. We pray at night for the helpless, hoping you get us through breakfast, wishing somebody come save us. Black Lightning's back, come to shock the haters.
Bravo, let's get him out of here.
Hey, no lie, seen him with my own eyes. Electric shocking guys, putting them all in line. About time somebody came down here and dealt with crime. Not just the gangsters, the police is out of line. So it's no trust, they don't understand our trouble. I don't know him myself, but do we come from struggle? Cause I'm like no superheroes around here, bruh. I'm like, he gotta be one of us. Gotta understand the hate and the distrust. Restore the feeling, put the love in us. My partner say I'm high, I must be smoking something. I said you right, I know the change, I know I'm feeling something. Stand up for something, or fall for anything. Lightning came with no rain. I saw a superhero last night, he was black. He said, this is for the hood, Black Lightning's back. We pray at night for the helpless, hoping you get us through breakfast, wishing somebody come save us.